What is up, DCS Crew? We have a first on the channel from this particular company. They actually sent us two knives over. I'm going to be reviewing one today, and I am testing the other one out to see, when I can go ahead and put some video and get my thoughts onto film, I guess you could say. But in this particular case, BRS or Battle Runner Systems has a line called E-Volve, and in this particular line, they came out with a few knives. And for some select YouTubers, they did send some knives over for them to review. So I will go ahead and start by saying, as a disclaimer, this was sent for review. And when I say this, I mean this guy right here, and he is a doozy. This dude is huge. This is the Khopesh, and I hope I'm saying that right, from Battle Runner Systems E-Volve line. Stay tuned, and we're going to talk a little bit about this monster of a knife, compare it with some other knives, and give my honest thoughts on this particular blade. So stay tuned. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and welcome back. So this is the Khopesh. I'm going to see if I can get the whole thing here on. There we go. I can get pretty much all of it there. And the specs are going to be over on this side. Okay. That way you can see more or less just how big it is. Like I was saying, it's over 9¼ inches in overall length. You've got just over a 4-inch M390 stonewash blade. It runs on bearings. You got about a 4-inch cutting edge. The handle itself is like over 5 inches. This thing is huge. Like, look, just so you can understand, okay? Here's my 3 fingers, and here's my 4th finger, okay? And there's like at least an inch of like wiggle room just to be able to move around and do stuff. But let's go ahead and put the size test, comparing it to a couple of other things I have on the table. Now, this is the small version, but in any case, here's the CJRB Feldspar. And I apologize because I seem to have brought out some small blades. This is the Main Street, only it's, the little one. And he always seems to be on the bottom. I got to put him on the top one of these days. This is the platypus from Best Tech Knives. Go ahead and check out that video if you haven't already. I did post that up. This is the Para 3 from Spyderco, which really needs no introduction. As you can see, MXG deep carry clip, by the way, for the win. MXG FTW. This is the Vero Engineering Synapse Gen 2. I've been keeping that one kind of secret that I have it, but yes, the secret is out. I do have it. I've had it since Blade. Been rocking that. Great knife. Kershaw Bare Knuckle 14C28N steel. That's a Sandvik steel, USA made knife. And last but not least, the Ethan Becker designed folder. This is the BK40 from the collaboration between K-Bar Knives and Becker Knife and Tool. And as you can see, that's not a small blade. And even then, it's not nearly as big as the Khopesh. So, just a couple of things I just wanted to kind of talk about here. Okay. So it runs on bearings, like I said before. There's a lot of things that I do like about this. They stonewash the clip, which is great. You don't want a reflective clip, when you are carrying, especially when you're carrying a freaking knife this big. They stonewashed the hardware and they stonewashed the blade, and the stonewash is actually very well done. I was looking at the tip. It does seem to be, ground evenly on both sides. I didn't have any issues while I was using this particular knife. It does have a thumb hole, so you can roll it out slowly, because you're not used to really rolling out like a big knife like this. Or you can finger flick it, either with your index finger, even your thumb. I mean, I haven't had any issues whatsoever. It is lefty friendly. You do have the, let me see if I can put it right here. That's the holes right there. It is tapped for left-hand carry. So because of the fact that it does have a thumb hole and you have this, I mean, it is a liner lock. So, you're always going to have to engage it in this manner. But this is a lefty friendly knife. They did consider you guys. This is titanium. This is shred carbon fiber slab. It's actually very well done. You have inset liners under the, see if I can show that. Can you see it there? No, you can't really. Let me see if I can get that with my, there we go. Okay. See if I can get a little bit better of a vantage point here for you guys to see. Now, you see where it's shiny? Maybe, yes, no, perhaps. Yeah, that's the liner. It is inset. It's much like if you've seen the inside of the Delica where it has the liner inset, inside of the scales. It's much like that. It is a liner lock. There is some jimping here that does work to open and close the liner. And I will say that it was kind of smoothed out on just the lock bar face, so that you can easily open and close it. That was one issue that I had a problem with another big knife, and if you recall, it's the Giant Mouse Grand. I don't recall if I had done a full review on it, but I know I did a quick review during the summer of last year. I did pick one up, and it ended up not staying in the collection because it didn't feel right when I was unlocking it and that sort of thing. I have used it a bit. In fact, I gotta get some of that crud out. So but yeah, I mean, the jimping, they do have jimping here. There is jimping over here, so you can, there's ways to be able to go ahead and hold this. I mean, you can hold it all the way back. You can choke up a little bit. You can choke up a little bit more, and you can ride that jimping that's right here and really get your thumb here and really put in some cuts. This is actually a very versatile knife. You have the M390, but again, it's made in China. I don't know where the M390 is from because it just says M390. It doesn't say Bowler M390, so it could be a chemically similar M390. But that's the sexy steel of the day. Who knows what it'll be in a year, 2 years, 5 years. Maybe in 5 years it'll be as useless as 440C for all we know. And it's like, the cat's meow nowadays. But in any case, M390, so you are getting a good stainless, corrosion resistant and somewhat stable steel if it's heat treated properly. I didn't see what the heat treat, the HRC numbers was on this thing, but I will tell you from my time using it, okay, while it's a big knife, I mean, it actually sits pretty well in the pocket. Let me see if I can find my little mini pocket thing so I can, oh yeah, here it is. Let me go ahead and see if I can set this up here right quick. I apologize, I didn't have this set up before, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you what it looks like in the pocket. And as you can see, for being a big knife, it actually hides surprisingly well. Let's see if I can show this a little bit better. There you go. It actually hides pretty well in the pocket. Let's see if I can. There you go. And you can see it. I mean, guys, this is a knife that's over 9 inches long. So, I mean, my consensus is it's pretty good for what it is. I mean, for somebody that wants a really big knife, but they want something that looks more gentlemanly. Usually when you have bigger knives, they're like the big, beefy, badass mofos. And you don't have too many of the really big, aesthetically pleasing, knives, in this kind of steel, that sort of thing. So it's kind of a niche market that I feel that BRS was capitalizing on, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. They're trying to get a better feel for their folder base, because I do know that they have balisongs and stuff, and they're doing really well in that. But I feel like the E-Volve line and even Revo Knives, which is a subsidiary of Battle Runner Systems, is doing very well. So, they are trying to find their way, and I think that they're doing pretty well. I did see this in the back. I forgot whether these are brass or they're just heat anodized steel, but it's very nice. It has that kind of brass look to kind of give it a little bit of pop on the knife itself. I feel like if these were just plain colored like the other ones, or even stonewashed, it would have kind of dulled it out, but it does give it a little bit of a nice luxury feel. I mean, you have the carbon fiber shred here. Very beautiful, by the way. I checked, there weren't any flakes that were missing. And, just that little pop of color does look nice. So these do have, let me see here. Is this a T8? It is. And are the screws T8? No, they are T6. That's a shame. Okay. Well, the hardware on the knife itself is T6, and the hardware, I guess, up here is T8. So, you have T8, and then you have 2 screws on each side, and then you do have the screws for the pocket clip, and those are T6. So, have it what you will. Now, on the presentation side, if you are right-handed, you will see just the blank screw there. You see that the Torx input is actually on the clip side. So, just to consider. Now, final thoughts on this. Is this something worth buying? That's going to be tough to say because, value when it comes to these knives, it's really hard to quantify, especially when you have a company that's wanting to expand more into the knife community. and then they come out with something with, you know, obviously upper tier materials like this, and people take a look at it and then they see the price and they're like, what a shame. You know, like it's one thing to pay a premium for stuff that, you know, people have been buying and they've been, you know, purchasing pretty consistently, like the Vero Engineering Synapse. There's a lot of people who talk crap about this being, you know, very similar to the CKF Custom Knife Factory's FIF20 or FIF20, you know. But the truth is, you know, this garners a lot of attention. The guy hustles, you know, Joseph hustles in his work, and he sells them for a pretty penny. I mean, he doesn't give those away. You don't see them, sold too often on the secondary. And when they are marked up. I mean, I could easily get double what I paid for on that one, you know. And for something like this is going through, I guess, a similar issue to what companies like Concept are doing. Are going through, where when they initially came out with knives, you know, they were coming out with some knives and they were coming out with just like the premium line first, and people were like, wait for the budget ones. Now the budget line for you know, Battle Runner Systems or BRS's Evo knife, that's Revo knives. It's kind of like the Civivi to We Knife Company. Now with these guys, since they have Revo knives, they have priced these quite a bit higher and differentiating themselves not only in price but in materials and manufacturing, tolerances and stuff. But we're still looking at, depending where you get it, I've seen this go for as much as $300. That's a really tough sell when you are selling knives. And I'm not saying that this isn't worth $300, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder or the beer holder, depending on whether you drunk buy or you just happen to buy this because you want to take a chance on the company. It's on you. And if it does well for you, great. You've got yourself a gem. And I hate to take, Nick Shabazz's phrase for that, but the truth is, this is a nice knife. I don't have anything really bad to say about it, I'm a little, I don't even know if I should say cautious about, getting too close to this and then potentially hitting this neck here and kind of, cutting myself, because there's so much handle, but it almost makes you want to like creep up and get this jimping back here, which will put your finger there. Okay. I haven't had any problem with the lockup, with it releasing or having any issues. The action is very good, being that it's a larger blade. The blade is actually, a longer blade. The blade is actually heavier, so it does fall, fairly easily. I haven't even, put any KPL or anything like that. But now that I think about it, I think I'm going to do it and try it out. Maybe I'll just take it apart and test it. Honestly, it's going to be a tough buy if you're used to buying, some higher, level stuff. If you're used to buying the Veros and you're used to buying the Giant Mouses and you're used to buying, the old Southern Grinds and the ZTs and the Hinderers and stuff, but then you're going into US made stuff when I talk about that. But, if you want something different, it's kind of like when you're in the fragrance community and you want a scent for the fall. Everybody's wearing, Yves Saint Laurent's La Nuit de l'Homme. Everybody's a Spice Bomb guy. Those are dumb reaches. Now, if you want to go and pick up, say, something like, Boss Bottled Intense or something like that, and I'm getting a little technical with the facts, but you want to have something that's quality but that's different, then yeah, I guess you could say you would pick this up because this is quality and it's a little different. But it really is up to you guys. That's just my 2 cents and quick thoughts about this particular knife. This is the Battle Runner Systems E-Volve line knife called the Khopesh. That's Khopesh. Yes, the Khopesh. And in particular, this is model B2 with the carbon fiber shred, titanium scale, stonewash blade, and hardware. I dig it, and that little pop, this really caught my eye when I got it. Like, that really set it apart for me. I actually really like the fact that it's got this here. And again, I don't know if it's anodized or if it's brass or whatnot, but I really like how it goes in the backdrop with this knife. So that being said, guys, I appreciate you taking a look at this review. I mean, my opinion on this is when you have a knife of this price, and it may change, it may go on sale, and if it gets a little bit lower, it might be a definite buy. But you know, consider your options and what you can get first before you pick something like this up. Although I would tell you that if you are familiar with Battle Runner systems and you've had a positive experience, go ahead and pick this up, because if you're used to the manufacturing and tolerance processes that they have, this should be a no-brainer. Because of the fact that they still have a relatively, you know, I don't want to say infant or freshman lineup, you know, but they are steadily growing and you know, organizing their catalog into much heavier hitters, and maybe even bringing in new artists and stuff to go ahead and put in their designs. I feel like the manufacturing processes, if this is how they got these knives just now, as they keep moving forward and they produce more knives, it's only going to get better. In my opinion, it's a good buy, you know, like as in you know, it's worth buying, but again, what I say may be different from what you say. I'm a working, you know, I make a working man's wage, so I like a working man's wage knife. You'll find me reaching for cheaper stuff like, you know, the feldspar, or, you know, maybe even a different, I don't really like these scales, but like a different version of, you know, the platypus, you know, stuff like that. I'm not saying it's bad, again, but, you know, my knives are really technically a little bit more towards, you know, the G10, the micarta. I'm not really the carbon fiber kind of guy. Maybe I will every now and again for like a knife that I take out for formal stuff and everything. But that being the case, you know, that's what I have to say about it. So thank you so much for tuning into this one. Let me go ahead and put it on this side so it lays nice and flat. There we go. I'll open it. Fuck it. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Daily Carry Solutions with the Khopesh from Battle Runner Systems. Huge shout out to Battle Runner Systems and Revo Knives for sending out not only this, but another knife that will show up in the near future. I did want to give it some thoughts. I didn't want to just go ahead and get it and immediately show it off, because I like to put it in my pockets and use it for some time. I've had a lot of knives in queue, some that haven't even, you know, been taken out of the boxes. Some I've actually purchased at Blade, and I didn't even talk about my Blade Show haul. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff, including, check this out. I got a little something from Squid Industries. Maybe it'll come out in a later show. But yeah, that said, thank you so much for watching. That's the end of today's episode. I'm going to go ahead and put some videos down here so you can check out if you are interested. If you're not subscribing, what the hell are you doing with your life? Tell me. How do you get by? How are you even alive? You better hit that sub button and stay tuned so we can go ahead and bring you some more material. If you sub and you hit that bell, you will be the first to be notified. And who knows, maybe I'll have a giveaway in the near future. Maybe you're just going to have to keep watching and find out. But in the meantime, guys, just remember, if you EDC, think of DCS. You guys have been great. I will see you guys next time. Peace.